V8 Supercars Sunday Series, hosted at, no, it's not meant to be Surgo, but who cares? It's meant to be Oschersleben A course. So there's the Oschersleben A course circuit. Sector 1's quite fast pace up until Sector 2, where it's quite windy, quite technical as well. Third corner's got a fast chicane heading into a double right-hander, which is a third and second gear respectfully, and then punching yourself onto the main straight across the control line. So it looks like quite a technical circuit for sure. Here's how the driver's standings looks like after 4 rounds of this series. So Brennicle's holding a 156-point lead over Ty Morgo, his second closest rival. Then Blue XR8 in P3 on 813 points. Someone Awesome P4 on 780. Raw rounds out the top 5 on 663. Then we got Carcado with 633. And we got Nachos with 591. Morningstar Mike with 588. 588 for Ninja as well. And we got Ghost with 588 as well. So freeway draw for P8. P9, or P11 rather, is XO with 567. P12 is Dean with 504. Black Wildcats 495. Austral 426. Hammer with 324. Rooney with 222 after a pretty good round last week. And we got Peppy with 216. Dark Soul with 213. Brett White with 165. Andrew HRT on 162. Tourette's on 84. And Machapo on 0. But due to the drop rounds from rounds 1 to 5, this is how it looked like with their worst drop round so far. So the points deficit is minimised now to 90. And that means Blue XR8 puts himself up in the P2 after that worst drop round. That means Ty Morgo's relegated to P3. Raw's up in the P4. Someone Awesome relegated to P5. Carcado stays where he is. And as it stands, Morningstar Mike, Azza and Ghost still all equal. And there's a fair bit of movement down further with Black Wildcats in the top 10. Nachos getting relegated out, as well as XO. Dean down 1 spot. Austral up 1. Hammer up 1. Rooney up a couple as well. And that's pretty much it from there as far as that goes with the worst drop round leaderboard there. So we'll get that get that off the screen now, where we're into a 5-minute qualifying session now. So we seem to have had a couple of the guys drop out, so hopefully Black Wildcats should be able to get in time. We've got a car off to the left hand side there. Ty Morgo. We'll get the splits and all that up on screen. The speedo. So Pepe's joined back. He should be able to get back in. Dean's joined. He should be able to get in if he's quick enough. He says he's left the session. I'm not sure what's going on. We're definitely having net issues, which is quite unusual. The guy's pretty much got to get in quick. So we're on board with Ty Morgo at this stage. He's at the last corner now. So we'll go on board cockpit view. See how much work this track has to offer to the drivers tonight. It's quite a technical one. Probably the hardest right beside Mount Panorama Bathurst, which is the next and final round. So this is the penultimate round in the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. So championship contender and Ty Morgo, he'll be looking for a good round tonight. So we're on board with him right now. Got a couple drivers ahead of him that are on a hot lap, that is. So we're in the mid sector now. This is quite a technical sector, this one. It's very hard to keep the rear grip on the track in this section, so the driver's got to be very cautious of how much accelerator input they feed the car. And this is a very technical chicane here. One wrong move through there and you're pretty much rotated. So you can see that throttle work there from Ty Morgo. Quite a lot of work for sure. And he's on the brakes now. through this fast chicane in the last sector. Into second last corner, heading on to the last corner now, back in second. Keep the mid-corner speed up to about 95. Reasonable exit there from Ty Morgo. So Hammer sets the early pace of a 127.3. Ty Morgo gets a 128.9. Rojo gets a 137.4. He's the newcomer tonight. We've got Ostrel moving up into P2 now. The 128.6. Raw with the 129.6. So these times are starting to get in now. That's Brennicle's championship leader. Ty Morgo's made a bit of contact with someone. The Brennicle's up in the P5. What does he have this time around? He needs to improve quite substantially if he's to put himself up onto the front two rows here. He sees himself 1.7 seconds adrift from pole position now. Car in front of him's lost the rear ever so slightly. Now he's up by 1.3 seconds now, so he's on for a good lap here. Brennicle's the championship leader. So he's in the mid-sector now. He's got a car ahead, so he's probably just going to have to hold station. That car goes out wide, so lucky enough for him. I'm not sure who's in that car there. Number 37, Ford Falcon. So this very technical chicane now. Blue XR8 on pole position. Provisional pole of 126.8. So awesome time by him. Cannot hold on though. That is the question. And Hammer goes provisional pole of 126.2. So he's pipped Blue XR8 for over half a second. Awesome pace by Hammer. They cannot hold on though. So qualifying is done and dusted here. Azza and Someone Awesome both yet to record a time here. Chronicle's going across the control line now. He goes up in the P3 of a 127.2. Awesome lap to get himself on the front two rows. Here comes Azza at the last corner, a bit unsettled. Definitely lost a bit of time there, but what's this going to be over the line? It's going to be P8. Someone Awesome, he moved up in the P7, so they're on the fourth row with each other. Someone Awesome and Azza. So keep in mind, Someone Awesome at this stage is P4 in the championship. So he's going to have to gain a lot of positions forward. Ghost, 3 race wins in this series so far. Sees himself all the way back in P5. So he's got a lot of work to do on the third row of the grid there. Championship contender and Ty Morgo sharing the third row alongside him. Ostrel, very unlikely result to see himself at P4. He's looking to have awesome pace at Oschersleben tonight. So he might be up for a good result here. We'll wait and see. There's the championship leader in P3. Blue XR8. P3 in the championship. Sees himself in P2. And we've got Hammer in P1. So awesome pole position time from him to beat Blue XR8 by 0.2 of a second. That's very close stuff between these two. So I'm not sure what's going on with a few of the guys disconnected. So it might be connection related. I'm not sure if it's because of me. Shouldn't be. Alright, so we'll get into the race. So here we go. Hammer, for the first time in the series, sees himself on pole position. Alongside him is championship protagonist Blue XR8. Currently P3 in the championship. So he'll be looking to make that one spot forward off the line here. Brennicle's championship leader starts P3. Awesome qualifying performance from him. Ostrel starts in P4. Another awesome qualifying performance from Ostrel there. So he's looking for a good result here. Ghost looks to be in the mid-pack here, so he's got a little bit of work to do. He's won 3 races out of the 4 he's attended in this series, so he's got a lot of work to do in P5. Ty Morgo, another championship protagonist in P6, currently P3 in the P2 in the championship. So he's got to make ground forward from his starting position. So an awesome P4 in the championship, sees himself 7th on the grid. A lot of work to do there. Azza starts in P8. He's got some work to do as well. Raw in P9. We've got EXO and P10 who would want to make some ground so he can cement his top 10 in the championship. We've got Morningstar Mike starting P11. Nacho starting P12. And Rojo, newcomer tonight, starting P13. We had an extra slot open, so we invited him. So I'm curious to see how he performs tonight. So we go back to the front. So, I didn't set a mandatory pit stop. It doesn't matter, they don't have to do it then. So if they can run all the way to the end, that's good. So here we go, we're about to go green here. And we're green for round 5, race 1 of the Supercars Sunday Series. Good launch from the outside from Blue XR8. He's got off the line there and put himself in the P1 over Hammer, heading into turn 1. He's got quite a gap now. Hammer spots him right behind him. Championship leader Brennicles in P3. Goes up one position in P4, then it's Oschersleben, who's lost position in P5. And we've got Sullen Awesome up his position in P6. Ty Morgo in P7. Raw in P8. Azza in P9. Morningstar Mike in P10. And it's Rojo up a couple in P11. Now he's relegated back to P12. Nacho's in P11 now. We've got a car rotated there. That's the championship contender, and Ty Morgo has rotated at the end of the first sector on lap 1. So unfortunate scenes there for P2 in the championship for Ty Morgo. He's got a lot of work to do. Now back to the front. Blue XR8 holds the half a second lead over Hammer. You can see Hammer in the background there. We've got Brennicles, the championship leader, following close behind Hammer there, right behind the rear bumper now. Then there's Oschersleben in the background there. So Ghost has been relegated back to P5 in the meantime. So we'll go on board with Hammer, trackside view. Get pretty much everything up on screen as it stands. So here we go, the end of lap 1. It's Blue XR8 leading over Hammer by 1 second. So that lead is extending quite substantially on the opening lap. Then it's Brennicles in P3, Ghost in P4 now. Oschersleben in P5, Sullen Awesome P6, Raw P7, Azza P8, Rojo P9, Ty Morgo round out the top 10, and he's made up a few positions after that first lap spin in the mid-sector, so he's making up ground quite fast. We have Carcado joining. So we'll have to offer points here for the guys. We have to start early tonight because they've got a live stream race on Os's Packing DC3 series meet and greet, so that will be straight up after this. But currently we are spectating and broadcasting the Supercars Sunday Series here live and free on Metamon and Twitch and YouTube. So Blue XR8 leading after lap 3. That lead over Hammer's just stagnated at a 1.2 second lead there. So Blue XR8 not blazing away in P1. So the battle for P1 isn't done yet. Oh, Blue XR8 went way too deep heading into turn 1. And Hammer follows him as well, and he's made a little mistake. Now he's under pressure to Brennicles, the championship leader, right in behind now. Can he make a move at the double apex up here? No, he holds him behind. So we'll go on board with Brennicles' cockpit view here. So he's chasing down Hammer in P2. Two very different racing lines coming into this sector here. They're both going out wide at this long right-hander. Double apex corner heading into this slow chicane here. Very technical. Oh, and that's Hammer making a mistake out of the chicane there. And now he's under pressure, the Brennicles in P3. But still not able to make the move. He's going to get right in behind it. He's giving him a nudge in the rear. So Brennicles with a little mistake there. He's going to have to rejoin here. And he's in the wall. The unfortunate scenes there for the championship leader, Brennicle. Now Ghost is up in the P3 after that incident there. So Brennicles was going way too deep on the brakes, heading into the far chicane there. And that sent him off the track and into the tyre bundle. And on board with Ghost, he's got pressure from Austral behind him. So heading into turn 1 now. This is a very slow chicane here as well. So it's Blue XR8 with a 3.2 second lead over Hammer now, so he's extended that lead, Blue XR8, and it's crucial for him to clean sweep this round if he's to keep himself in championship contention heading into the last round. So every last point will count in this round for pretty much everyone. As for the championship leader, he's all the way down in P7, so this is really favouring Blue XR8. And P2 in the championship, Ty Morgo, he's all the way back in P9, so he may not be able to make ground on the championship lead that Brennicles has. He's coming awesome. P4 in the championship sees himself in P6, one spot ahead of championship leader Brennicles. So at this stage, he's gaining some points advantage over Brennicles this round. So he'd like to keep it that way for the remainder of this event. But after lap 4, heading to lap 5, it's Blue XR8 leading over Hammer by 3.5. And it's Ghost in P3, Austral in P4, and Raw rounding out the top 5. And he's closely followed behind by Someone Awesome. And then there's championship leader Brennicles all the way back in P7. Behind him is Azza, a further 4 seconds back from him. You can see him in the background there. And then it's Ty Morgo, who lost a lot of ground off the start of this race in the mid-sector after a rotation. And then we've got Morningstar Mike rounding out the top 10 there. And there's Rojo in P11. He's gone out wide there. He's off the track, so he's made a mistake. He's missed his brake marker there, and that's going to invite Nachos up in the P11. Yes, it is. And then you've got Exo in P13 there. So Blue XR8's coming in the pit lane, so I reckon all the guys will follow them in for a pit stop. Yes, we got Blue XR8 coming in from the lead of the race in the pit lane now. So the new leader of the race is Hammer, and then it's Ghost in P2, Austral in P3, and he's Raw is in P4, Someone Awesome in P5, Brennicles championship leader in P6, Azza in P7, Blue XR8 still in his pit box there. He's just about to exit now, and it's a very long pit transit here at Oschersleben. So he's been relegated all the way back to P10. I'm not sure what's going on here. He's had a long hold time here. I didn't see a change of tyres go on that car. And that means Ty Moore goes all the way up in the P8, and he's still sitting there, Blue XR8. So maybe a mix-up in his pit strategy here. Rojo's up in the P11. Nachos is up into P10. So Blue XR8, he's all the way at the back of the grid now. I'm not sure what's happened here, because that pit stop took its time. So it's Hammer with a 3.4 second lead over Ghost in P2. Then closely followed by Austral, a further second back from Ghost. So he's having a fine performance in the first race of round 5 of the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. And we got Raw in P4. Looking to be like another consistent performance from him. Currently P5 in the championship, so he's really bringing it to the top guys tonight. And he's trying to keep himself in championship contention. Heading into the last round in Bathurst Mount Panorama, the 200-kilometre race. So everything will be on the line there for him. And Southern Awesome there in P5. He's P4 in the championship. He's got the championship leader, Brennicles, right in behind him there. You can see him in the screen now. So it's a three-car train between these three, and then there's Azza a further 8 seconds down, and there's a train of cars behind this train here, going through sections 1 and 2 now. So we're on board with reigning champ and Southern Awesome here. He's trying to chase down Raw in P4. So we'll wait and see who's the next to put themselves in the pit lane. So Exo's in the pit lane, 7 is mandatory pit stop. So this gap's starting to extend between Southern Awesome and Brennicles, the battle for P6. So Southern Awesome, he seems to have the pace over his championship rival in Brennicles. And up ahead, he's still got Raw up ahead, punching out quick lap times here. His last lap was a 1:27.8, which is 1 tenth quicker than Southern Awesome on the last lap. So 1 second advantage over Raw last lap this time around. Massive lock-up from the reigning champ there. Now Hammer still holds a 3.6 second lead over Ghost in P2. And Ghost is holding a narrow lead over Austral. Battle for P2, there's Austral right there. So Exo's in pit lane now. He's still in pit lane, so something's happened to Exo a few laps ago. He's just out now, because he was in pit lane for quite a while there. You see Austral in the back screen there. It'll be very good if he can pull off the podium. He's starting to get up to grips with these cars, and Ghost is making a bit of a mistake there. He's went over the inside curb and he may cop a slowdown penalty if they deem it that he's actually got an advantage out of that. So we'll wait and see. But he's had to put it right back in the gear there. They're back in the second now for Ghost. Trying to get as much traction as possible off these slow corners. And he's trying to make some inroads to Hammer in P1. So Rojo and Nachos are both in pit lane now. So they've served their mandatory pit stop. So Blue XR8, he's up in the P10 now. So everyone seems to be caught out by the long pit transit. So maybe that's why Blue XR8 was in there for quite a while. So here's your standings as it stands now. So it's Hammer with a 3.5 second lead over Ghost in P1. So that means Ghost is in P2, Austral in P3, starting to make some ground on Ghost ahead. And then it's Raw in P4, Brennicles in P5. So he's made the move on reigning champ Southern Awesome, who is in P6 now. As is in P7, he's under pressure by Ty Morgo, behind by the looks of it. No, that's a lap car. There's Morningstar Mike going across the control line now. Blue XR8, he's on the last corner. Then it's Rojo, who's the other green car there. Then it's Exo, and then it's Nachos, who's still in pit lane. About to exit now, so we'll go back on board with the battles that are starting to heat up. Ghost holding a narrow lead over Austral for P2. So we're on lap 9 of 21. I'll just quickly message on my phone and say there's a pit stop as well. Hopefully they all get the message there. So it's still Hammer with a 3.2 second lead over Ghost. So he's really cracking up some good laps, Hammer. Last time around was a 1:28.5. In comparison to Ghost is a 1:27.7. So he's gained a bit of ground on the last lap alone there. So awesome pace by him to start that catch up to Hammer and P1. And I'm still losing a little bit of pace in comparison to Ghost. His last lap was a 1:29.6. And then you can see Raw in the background there. He's in P4 and he's been very consistent throughout this series. Sees himself P5 in the championship and he has a fighting chance at this stage to get championship glory. But he's got to maximise his points pulled tonight if he's to stay within a realistic distance here. Now he's going in to the pits and we see another driver in Ghost go in the pit lane there. So they're both serving their mandatory pit stops. So Hammer and Austral in P2 yet to make their pit stops. Brennicles, Selling Awesome, Azza, Time Morgo and Morningstar Mike yet to make their mandatory pit stops as well. So we'll start to see a few of the guys pitting now. There's Brennicles, the championship leader. He's reacted to the guys in front, as well as Selling Awesome. So he's lost a little bit of ground to Brennicles as well. So a bit unusual there. And that means Azza will go up in the P3. So we might see him react sooner as well, because we've got a train of cars, 5 cars in the pits to serve their mandatory pit stops. And as for Blue XR8, he'll be the realistic chance of overtaking everyone in the pits here. Wait and see, where is he out on track? So he's heading into the last corner now. Everyone's pretty much exiting pit lane, but he's onto the main straight now, so he might be able to get the guys that are coming out the pits. So there's 2 guys ahead of him that just came out in Brennicles and Ghost. So he's been overcutted quite seriously here. So he's got a lot of ground to make up in this last stint, Blue XR8. So P4, he's got the provisional lead. Correction, so it's still Hammer on top of the provisional lead at this stage, because he did lead it coming into the pits. So Ghost has still got a little bit of time to find in comparison to himself and Hammer. So if he's trying to make a move up in the P1, he's got to have a good outlap here. So there's Austral serving his mandatory pit stop, so he's in from P2. We might see Azza come in, maybe not. He's still not in pit lane yet. So Azza, he goes one more time around. And also Hammer follows as well, even though he's the leader. So he's going to run as long as possible by the looks of it. So we're on board with Ghost. He's got a 2-second advantage over Raw in P5. So these two are fighting for position here. And there's Raw in the background up the last corner. Austral is still in the pits. He'll be relegated back to around P7, I would assume. Maybe even P8, P9. Wait and see here. Morningstar Mike's in pit lane. So he'll go back to P8, Austral. No, he's out of pits now, so he's made his pit stop there. So rejoining the track, P5, but he's ahead of Blue XR8. So Blue XR8 came into the pit lane on the opening laps from the lead of this race, and he sees himself all the way back in P6. So he must have made a strategy mistake there heading into the pits, but he might be looking to get an easy overtake on Austral here down the inside. In the mid-sector, he gets it done. No, that's not Austral. That might be, that's Exo there in the number 44, so he's letting lap traffic by. Apologies there, I thought it was Austral, but he's in the number 11 Ford Falcon here. So he's tracking quite well, Austral. Top 5 so far, and he's looking quite healthy for a podium result here, because Hammer and Azza are both in pit lane now. So the guys relatively close behind them in the pit, so trying to make up ground, and it's Ghost going wide there. And that's Raw right in behind him as well, because they're trying to negotiate with lap traffic there. So onto the main straight now for these two. Hammer's exiting pit lane now. Azza's still in his pit box. So it looks like Hammer, he's going to lose the lead of this race to Ghost. So Ghost puts himself up in the P1. But Hammer should be coming out of pit lane. There he is. There's Hammer right on the outside of Raw there. So Hammer's lost 2 spots from the lead coming into the pits. So it's a three-way battle for P1. 1.5 seconds separates the top 3. Then it's Austral. A further 4 seconds back in P4. Blue XR8 rounds out the top 5. Brennicles, championship leader in P6. He's holding off Southern Awesome, who seems to be a bit further down now in P7. So Southern Awesome, reigning champ, is under pressure by Azza in P8. So this battle's starting to heat up. That's Ty Morgo on the background there. So championship protagonist Ty Morgo, he's looking to make up as much ground as possible in the closing laps. Then it's Rojo, the newcomer. He's going to have to get out of the way because he's a lap car there. Then it's Exo in P12. He's making a huge mistake there at the chicane. And it's Nacho's rounding out the 13 car grid here. So we'll go back to the lead of this race, who currently is Ghost. And he's getting hunted down by Raw in P2. So this is close stuff here in the penultimate round. So 126 last time around for Ghost. Awesome lap there. 127.5 for Raw. So he's lost 1 second last time around in comparison to Ghost. So Ghost is currently setting the fastest laps of the race here. He's trying to extend that gap as much as possible. But the question is, can his tyres hold on as he goes out wide? He pushes the limits there in the mid-sector. He's lost a little bit of time to Raw, who's right up behind him now. So Ghost has lost the traction, and there's Raw going off to the left-hand side. Hammer's going to come in right behind him now. So Hammer's right behind the rear bumper of Raw, giving him a little love tap there. And then there's Austral in the background there. I do not want to exit this lobby. So Austral, he's fighting for position here, trying to set it up the inside, but he can't get it done. He holds him behind. So awesome stuff by these guys to not make contact. A little mistake by Raw has seen him get 2 seconds away from the lead of this race. He's got to make a lot of ground on the next 7 laps for if he's to win this race. Hammer's in P3, and it's Oscher in P4. This is close stuff here at Oschersleben. The first 2 corners now, a very slow chicane to start off the lap. And it's a 4-car train for the lead of this race here. Who will prevail? At this stage, it looks like it's going to go to Ghost, but there's still heaps of laps remaining in this one. It's Raw trying to hold off Hammer, and it's Hammer trying to hold off Austral. And then a further 4 seconds down from this pack is the championship leader in Brennicles. Blue XR8 is up in the P6. Southern Awesome is up in the P7. He's still under pressure by Azza in P8. He's trying to make an overtake on a lap car here, Southern Awesome. There's Azza. And then there's Ty Morgo in the background there. So there's a 3-car train for the battle for P7. That's Morningstar Mike in P10. About to get on the lead lap now. Then it's Exo in P11. Rojo in P12. And Nacho's in P13. So Hammer seemed to have extended his lead in P2 over Hammer last lap around. So he's starting to get back in the sync here. He might be looking forward as well as he tries to hunt down Ghost in P1. Last lap was the quickest lap of the race for 1:26.9. That's 1/10 slower than Ghost last time around. So Ghost is still setting the fastest laps of the race. So on lap 16 of 21, we're at the later stages of race 1 of round 5. And that's a 4-way battle for the lead, but it's still a little gap from P1 to P2. But it's still anyone's race here, the B1. And it's Hammer, barely down on his quickest time. So he's really consistent at this stage. And it seems as though Ghost is really struggling in the mid-sector, as Hammer gains at least half a second in the mid-sector alone. So Hammer's really pushing it. He's pushing the boundaries as far as he can. And it's really paying dividends in his quest to finish first in this race. You can see Ghost right in the front of the cockpit there. You can hear Ghost in the background there. He should be in screen soon. So there's Ghost at the last corner now. So Hammer's still got a little bit of ground to make, and it's Ostrel. He's moved up in the P3 because Raw has made a mistake, and he's under pressure to the championship leader in Brennicles. This is bumper to bumper stuff for the battle for P4. Now Brennicles, he's trying to fake him here by the looks of it. He might chuck the nose down the inside. No, Raw goes a little bit defensive, heading into turn 1. He's really feeling the pressure from the championship leader. So Ostrel's up in the P3. He could pull off a podium here, Ostrel. That'll be an awesome effort for him. So Raw barely holding on for P4 here. His championship rival right behind him. Chasing him down here, bumper to bumper. So Raw's got to hold on to this spot here if he's to make ground for the championship lead. So into the chicane now. He's going to get a better exit. Raw seems to be getting a little bit of an advantage over Brennicles now. So Brennicles not looking as racy as he did last lap around. But he might be just refreshing his mind so he can attempt to make a move later in this race. We'll wait and see as the laps kick down here at Oschersleben. So Ghost having a 3.4 second lead over Hammer in P2. And then it's Ostrel rounding out the top 3. Raw and Brennicles, P4, P5 respectfully, and this is the battle we are spectating here as Brennicles tries to send it down the inside, heading into turn 1. He might be able to pull it off. No, he doesn't. Very good defensive manoeuvre made by Raw. He's barely holding on the P4 here. A little bit of an overlap down the inside for Brennicles. He's on the outside line, heading into the right left-hander up here. So on the wrong side of the road for him, and he gets past Raw. So Raw is relegated back in the P5. Awesome move made by the championship leader, Brennicles. So now he's looking to chase down Ostrel in P3, but he's only got 4 laps to do so. So Raw really be kicking himself after that move made by Brennicles there, because now he's relegated back to P5 and he's losing ground. He's losing ground to Brennicles in the quest for the championship, so he's got to be able to get that 4th position back. And that's for Ty Morgo and Blue XR8. They're in the wars today as Blue XR8's in P10, Ty Morgo in P8. So these guys who are P2 and P3 in the championship are going to lose a little bit more ground than the championship leader, Brennicles. And as for Ghost, he's looking for his 4th win in this series. Ever since he's joined this series, he's been a force to be reckoned with. He's on lap 19 of 21. He's got a 1.3 second lead over Hammer. So last time around was a 130.2 for Ghost. Last time around for Hammer was a 127.7. So a lot of ground made last lap for Hammer. So this is the battle for P1. And then Ostrel's in screen there in P3. So Ghost, he's still in with a shot for the championship here because of the drop rounds. We could see him in contention heading into the last round. If he clean sweeps the round, it might make it a little bit easier for him. So he's going to have to win the next race if he's to have a fighting chance heading into the last round of the series. But to have joined 2 rounds later on than everyone else, he's had a ripper of a season. So he's extended that lead by 2 tenths halfway through this lap here. We're about to enter lap 20 of 21. So penultimate corner now for Ghost. Heading into the last corner, very slow second gear corner. He's kept the mid speed up quite substantially and he's got a good exit there. And that's the reason why he's leading this race. Last lap a 127.7. Last lap for Hammer was a 132.3. So a 5 second advantage there between the two. So Hammer's really losing ground in the closing stages here. And that's Austral in P3. This is going to be a personal best performance for Austral if he can hold on. He's got a 3-second gap between himself and championship leader Brennicles, who has been very consistent in this series, and that's why he is the championship leader. And that's Raw in behind him. He made that move on Raw a couple laps ago, and he's looking quite comfortable in P4. He's got Austral in his sights now, Brennicles. So it's all attack stations now for Brennicles for the last podium spot. But he's only got 1.5 laps to make that ground. Last time around, he was only 3 attempts quicker than Austral in P3, so this might not be able to get done for him. So we might have to settle down for P4. But a very consistent performance there for him. We'll go back onto the lead of this race. It's Ghost leading over Hammer with a 1.5 second lead. So the lead hasn't really gone anywhere as it closes up to 1.3 seconds. So on the last lap of this race, it's a battle between Ghost and Hammer. Who will win this one? Ghost has got quite a comfortable margin heading into the final lap. 1.8 second lead heading into turn 1. And he's got very good traction on exit of turn 2. He's looking quite comfortable. He's got a lap car up ahead, but it should get out of the way here relatively soon. So Ghost with a 1 second lead. The lead between himself and Hammer is diminishing. Can he hold on? You know, he struggled in the mid-sector. He's lost a little bit of ground there too. He's still got a 1.2 second lead over Hammer, and he's got a lap car ahead to deal with. That lap car is going off the track there. Having the rejoin on the inside, and it's going to be a battle to the end between Ghost and Hammer. So Hammer's got to gain 7 attempts on his competitor in Ghost. 6 attempts difference here, but it looks like Ghost is going to get home with a wonderful win here at Oschersleben in race 1 of round 5. It's bumper to bumper stuff over the line. 7/10 advantage over Ghost. And that's a wonderful win by Ghost to come from P5 to P1 on the grid. Awesome stuff there. Awesome result for Hammer. He was the pole sitter, but he ended the race in P2. An Austral, wonderful performance from him to get on the back step of the podium. Personal best result for him. Another consistent result for the championship leader, Brennicles in P4. Raw in P5. Azza in P6. About to cross the line now, and that's the reigning champ in the background, someone awesome, who will finish in P7. Ty Morgo there in P8. Then it's Morningstar Mike, who finished P9, Blue XO8 P10, XO in P11, Nachos in P12, and Rojo in P13. And then it will be Black Wildcats in P14, Peppy in P15. I'm not sure it will have to be Carcado in P16. We're going to reward points there for those guys because unfortunately they couldn't join. So I'm not sure what has happened at the start of the race there. So we'll get those guys in for race 2. But for an opening performance for Rojo, he's got a lot of work to do heading into race 2. But this series is very hard. Did I allow stability control? I'm not sure I did. So I'll have to get the screenshots of the results here. So that's Ghost P1, Hammer P2, Austral in P3, awesome result from him. Brennicles in P4, Raw P5, Azza P6, Someone Awesome P7, P8 Ty Morgo, P9 Morningstar Mike, P10 is Blue XR8, and P11 the P13, EXO, Nachos, and Rojo. So I have to get a screenshot for that. We'll return the lobby. We'll get the next lobby up and running. We'll have a 5-minute practice session where that will be a 5-minute break for the drivers. And I might have to make some changes in the lobby as well because I didn't add a mandatory pit stop. But thankfully, everyone followed the rules, so I didn't have to add time to people's finishing time. So very good sportsmanship there from the guys. So I have allowed stability control, so that's good. Alright, so I'll add this 5-minute practice session here. Could add a 10-minute practice session. Just put it up a bit. And there'll be overcast conditions there. And I'll get the remainder of the guys that are meant to be in here. So, got Dean, Carcado. I'll see if Black Wildcats is on. So we need Peppy in the lobby. Who am I looking for again? Peppy, there we go. And we'll invite Black Wildcats as hopefully he can join. Not sure what happened to Peppy and Black Wildcats because they seem to be disconnecting from the lobby. It might be a connection issue between me and them, so I won't see. So that's Black Wildcats joining.
What the bloody hell?
Alright, let's just see if Peppy was online there. He's hopping back on. So we'll get into this one. Black Wildcats disconnecting again. I'm not sure what's going on here. Sorry about this. Maybe we might have to get another host for the next round to see if that changes anything. Because it might be the connection to myself. Because we don't seem to experience this on Go2Wo's Wednesday nights racing because I don't host that, so it might be a connection to me. Wait and see. But for the meantime, we're going to start it up. Going to go to a 10-minute practice session, and in the meantime, I'm just going to get a quick drink, sort of refresh, and we'll go straight into qualifying 2, which will be 5 minutes. And then after that, it will be another 21 lap race with a mandatory pit stop. And I think I have said it this time. If not, they'll know what to do. So that's all good. Alright, see you in about 5 minutes time. early pace set of Blue XR8 with 125.2. I'm pretty sure that's the fastest lap we've actually seen this whole round. So he's looking to be on the pace earlier on. That's so awesome. He's losing the rear out of turns 1 and 2. So we might actually go on board with Blue XR8 here. We'll go cockpit view because he looks to be on a hot lap as he flies past in that camera view there. Up after this, we got Race on Oz's tagging in GT3 series. The series inspired by the blank pane GT series in the real world. So don't go anywhere, that's going to be the meet and greet round. So it's not going to play for points, but it's going to help out the drivers that are competing in the series to make decisions on what cars they'll be choosing to run. So definitely get on board that stream as well, because we're broadcasting Div 1. Race on Oz's taking in GT3 series on Project Cars 2. And from what I've been told, extraordinary racing goes on between the guys. So if it's anything like the series we host here, it's definitely bound to be a ripper. So we'll see a lot of the drivers maybe testing out a few different cars tonight as well. So that will add to the atmosphere as well. We might see a very different results in the meet and greet, but you know, it's all trial and error for the guys this week. So they'll be testing whatever they can in the different vehicles that are available to them. Now, once the time comes, I'll tell you what vehicles are available for them to drive. So they've got 4 choices, and that will be to be announced until the Race on Oz stream commences. So don't go anywhere, because after this, that will start around an hour and 10 minutes from now, so not too far off. So Blue XR8, he couldn't improve on that 125.2, but Raw's also in the 125s as well. When he goes across the line there, he doesn't improve. He's setting some good pace tonight. Austral exceeding track limits at some point on the track. And got a car off to the right hand side there. I think that's the number 1 car of someone awesome. Parked up. See if there's anyone else on track. Austral, performance result last round. Let's see what his pace is tracking like. So his fastest lap is a 1:27.2. So let's see if he can crack the 26s here as he enters the mid sector, the most technical sector of the track here at Oschersleben A course. So this is the longer circuit of the 3 different circuit types at this location. So into the chicane now. You can pretty much straight line it, but you've got to make sure that at least half of your car is over the other side on the track. So the car slowing down there for Austral. So he's in the last sector now, but we didn't get a sector split, so I do not have that up. So that will be right. Get the track map up. So yeah, it might be the connection from myself and the guys. So Peppy and Black Wildcats are struggling to join. So maybe we'll set up something else in the next race. There we go. Practice is finished. Hopefully Peppy and Black Wildcats can join. We're just waiting on the cars across the control line now. There's Azza on a hot lap. He's 3 minutes and 7 seconds off his fastest. He looks to be drifting around. Got a little bit of front bonnet damage there. So be a little bit aero deficient for sure as he enters the last corner. Get car all the way out sideways. So it's Drift City here from Azza. So he's crossed the control line there. Carcado, he was the one parked off to the right hand side. This is Exo. I think he's crossed the control line, so he's on a slow down lap now. Dean, he's finished. Just trying to find which car hasn't finished. It's Carcado, so he's just parked himself. Yeah. So we got 25 seconds left in the session. So next session will be the 5-minute qualifying session. So hopefully Peppy and Black Wildcats are actually in the lobby so they can join straight away. But I think we're having connection issues with them, so maybe we have to get someone else to host next time around. So obviously these results don't matter in terms of setting the grid, but there's some quite fine times there between Blue XR8 and Raw, both getting in the 25s there. So that's quite quick times there. As we head into qualifying too. There we go. Everyone is reacting in pit lane. I'm just going to quickly have a chat with Peppy and Black Wildcats to see what's going on. Get back onto the live scenes here. We're on board with Hammer, who's really on the pace tonight. P2 first race. What's it going to be in the second race? We'll wait and see. As he tries to set a hot lap here at Oschersleben. Get pretty much everything up. So back on board with Hammer. He'll take me for a lap around this circuit in Germany in Oschersleben A course, the longest of the 3 circuits that are available here. There's a lot of work on board this Ford Falcon here of Hammer. He enters the mid-sector now. He will not get a sector split because he hasn't got a reference for us. It's looking clean so far in the first sector. Using every bit of road through here. And it's fair to say, Hammer is the fastest through the mid-sector. He runs it through there quite smoothly. Gets it right on corner exit as well. Chicane upper is also very smooth through. On the exit, he went a little bit wide there, but it shouldn't matter too much for a banker lap. So he's entering the last sector now. Heading into the fast chicane of the third sector. And it sets off a lot of people because there's 3 different lines. You can either get a good entry in and a good entry out, or you can go the complete opposite of one another and get a wicked entry in and a shit entry out, or vice versa. So early pace setter, championship leader Brennicles, 126.3. Hammer goes in the P3 over 127.5. 127.1 from the reigning champ in Southern Awesome. Austral and P4 over 127.4. Blue XR8 with a 125.6 to put himself on provisional pole. So good banker lap there for him. Now, unfortunately, with the 5-minute qualifying sessions, we're actually not able to view every car here. So we'll have a look at the first sector here, see if he's actually up Blue XR8. So he's up by half a tenth. We'll see how Ghost is tracking actually, because the fastest lap at this stage is 1:37.5, which no doubt is an out lap of some sort. He's in the mid sector now on a hot lap, and that looked quite smooth through that chicane there. Didn't see any evidence of losing the rear of the car there. The setup of this car is set up quite well for Ghost's driving style and the layout of this circuit here at Oschersleben. He's in the last sector now, Ghost. He's 6.7 tenths up on his quickest. So he may have stuffed it up a little bit in the first sector. And I don't think he's going to cross control line in time. He's got 3 seconds to do so. And that's session over, but he goes P3 of 126 flat. So awesome time from him. So Brennicles, the championship leader, up in the P2, but he's 3 tenths down on his quickest there. So Awesome's in the pit lane. What's this going to be for Ty Morgo? He's up barely on his quickest. He's looking to improve here. He's 1.5 seconds off the pace of pole. So he's in the mid-sector now, using every bit of road. He's gone out on the dirt there. A little bit of a right inside lock there as he enters the double apex corner. Through the chicane now, going a bit wide on both corners, and he set the rear out, and that is lap done and dusted for Ty Morgo. He will not improve on that 127.1. And that's for Austral. He looks to be on a hot lap. Now, what's the second split going to be coming out of the mid-sector? So he's barely down. If he can get 2 tenths in the last sector, he could see himself up in the P6. Maybe even in the P5. So this is all or nothing here for Austral. He's looking for 2 consistent results in the one round. As he enters the final corner now, is it going to be enough? We'll wait and see. It wasn't enough, so P7, Austral remains. So pole position goes to Blue XR8. Brennicles P2. He goes around that top 3. And that's the rest of your grid there. So unfortunately, once again, we don't have Black Wildcats and Peppy, so I might have to organise something next round. So here we go. P3 in the championship, Blue XR8. He's on pole position for race 2 of round 5. It's a crucial race here for him. Brennicles, championship leader, starting alongside his championship rival Blue XR8 in P2. Ghost won the last race, and he's looking to convert another clean sweep here at the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. He starts P3. Alongside him is Raw in P4. Finished P2 last race. No, correction, that was Hammer. Finished P5 last race. He'll be looking to get another top 5 result. Someone awesome, reigning champ, sees himself P5, 3rd row, sharing alongside Ty Morgo. Both championship rivals, both P in the top 4 in the championship. They got a lot of work to do on the 3rd row of the grid. Austral finished P3 last race, but he's got a lot of work to do if he's to replicate that result. He currently starts P7. Hammer finished P2 in the last race, had pole position as well. And he sees himself all the way back on the 4th row in P8. Then it's Dean in P9, Carcado in P10, Morningstar Mike in P11, Nachos P12, Exo P13, and an unlikely P14 for Azza. So he didn't maximise his qualifying session there. So he's got a lot of ground to make up on from last on the grid. So we're about to go green here for race 2 of round 5 of the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. So we are an hour away from Race on Oz as well. So straight after this, be a 10-minute gap between this Sunday series and a race on Oz. So we're about to go green here. Who's going to get a launch off the line? And a lot of wheel spin from the front too, but it's going to be a good launch from Brenical on the right hand side. He might be able to lead this big head to turn 1. So it's Blue X8 leading us into turn 1 now, but Brenical's trying to send it down the inside, but he's just going to have to hold back. He's under extreme pressure from Ghost behind in P3. Then it's Roar in P4, Someone Awesome in P5. And Blue X8, he's off to the right hand side in the wall there. Blue X8 losing heaps of positions here. He's lost it off the 4th corner. And that means Brenicals is the leader in this race. He's got a 0.7 second gap over Ghost in P2 and it's Roar in P3. Reigning champ in Someone Awesome in P4, Azure in P5. And then it's Nachos in P6. So awesome launch from Nachos off the back of the grid. And it's Austral, he remains in P7. Carcado's up a couple in P8. Good jump from him. Hammer in P9, he's lost 1 position. Blue XR8, he's lost 9 positions off the start. He may have been caught up in a bit of a tangle, but I didn't catch it. We'll wait to see what happens towards the end of this race. So he's got a lot of ground to make up. Morningstar Mike in P11 there, Ty Morgo. He's been relegated back quite substantially as well in P12. Dean's moved back in the P13 and he's looking to be struggling. The number 5 Ford Falcon there. And it's XO in behind him with a little bit of damage as well. So he's carrying a wounded Falcon along this circuit of Oschersleben here, XO. So looking very unlikely to get a good result here for XO. So we're going to have to go back on board to the lead of this race. It's half a second lead from Brenical to Ghost. This is the battle for P1. We're only on lap 2. Right on the rear bumper now is Ghost. He's looking for a clean sweep here at Oschersleben. It'll be his second clean sweep of the series if he can pull it off. He's got the lights on and he's applying the pressure to the championship leader Brenical. He's going to look to make a move down the inside. No, he holds back. So really applying the pressure. Brenical can't do anything about it. All he can do is look in his rear vision mirror around every corner. And he's in the right hand side mirror now, but he doesn't get good enough traction on exit. No, he does. Ghost may be able to send it down the inside, heading into turn 1. He's got an overlap. He might be able to get it done. And that's Brenicals giving the position to Ghost. A wonderful move by Ghost heading into turn 1. Relegates Brenicals back in the P2, the championship leader. And that's Roar in P3. You can see him in the background there. And we've got Someone Awesome in P4, Azure in P5. Carcado, he's in P7 now. And it's going to be Austral in P6. So he's looking to make some position forward here, Austral. It's Hammer in P8, Blue XR8 in P9, up 1 last lap. P10, Ty Morgo. Nachos, moved back a few in P11 last time around. Morningstar Mike in P12, Dean in P13 and EXO. Rounding out the 14 car grid, but he's really struggling in the number 44 Falcon here at Oschersleben. So back onto the lead of this race, on board with Ghost. He's extended his lead to 1.1 seconds over Brenicals, the championship leader. They're looking highly likely for a clean sweep here. Still got pretty much the whole race ahead of us now, and everyone's still going to make their mandatory pit stop, so we'll wait and see how the grid shakes up after the next stint. So the leads seem to be stagnating from one another now. The draw in P3, so it goes going across there now, then it's Brenical, then it'll be Raw. Someone Awesome coming around turn 3, and he's closely followed by Azza. These two were battling it out last race, and it's continuing here in race 2 of round 5. So Azza, he's looking to make a move on the reigning champ. Can he get it done? We'll go on board cockpit view, on board with Azza. He's got a lot of work ahead of him. Two very different racing lines taken here, and he's had to correct himself, Azza. A lot of wheel spin off the double apex corner in the mid-sector. And he's set himself back 1 second in comparison to him and Someone Awesome. And how far behind is Ostrel? Ostrel 6 seconds behind Azza here in P5, so he doesn't have pressure being applied to him anytime soon. We're lucky that mistake didn't grant someone behind him an opportunity to make an easy overtake. We're back on board trackside view here as we go towards the lead of this race. There's Ghost in P1 heading into turn 1 now with quite a comfortable lead, because there's Brennickles just in picture now. So Ghost will lead after lap 5. This is a good camera view here. This is how real supercars look when they go over the outside and inside curves at some of the tracks that have these cameras. So there's Azza, Ostrel. He'll be coming around the 4th corner now. Or 3rd corner rather. So there he is, heading into turn 4. And what's the sector split going to be for him? So setting consistent laps here. Last lap was the 1:28.4. And he's barely down on his fastest lap here, so he's looking quite racy in the early stages here, Ostrel. He's got Clean Air in front of him and behind him. Closest behind him is Carcado. A 3-second gap between him and Ostrel for P6. And Ty Morgo in behind Carcado. See Carcado there now, and then you've got Hammer in behind Ty Morgo. So it's a three-way battle for P7 starting to heat up. So Ty Morgo, he's one of our championship protagonists heading into the later stage of the season. But he sees himself in the wars once again in this round. So he's going to lose a bit of points to his championship rival in Brennickles, who's currently got the lead of this championship. But remember, Ty Morgo, he finished P2 in the last championship, so he's reasonably consistent. He could be ironed down to go one further this time around. If he wants to get that quest completed, win the championship, he must make ground in this race, because this is crunch time for him. Any other battles starting to heat up? Yep, so we got, so Azza's moved up in the P4 over Southern Awesome. So Southern Awesome's relegated back to P5. You can see him in the background there. He seems to be struggling in the number 1 Ford Falcon there. The last time around, the top 5 guys are only separated by 3 tenths. So this is awesome pace here between the top 5, and then you can also add Ostrel into the mix there. That extends it to 3.5 tenths last lap. So extremely close lap times here in race 2 of round 5. Currently on lap 7, the leader on lap 7 in Ghost, and that's Azza going across the line to start his lap 7. Someone Awesome closely followed in behind Azza. See him in picture there, the reigning champ. He's looking like an outsider chance for the championship this stage, Someone Awesome, but he still has a chance. So as long as that chance stands, he can still defend his title. But he's got to gain a few more positions this race. He's got to get in front of Brennickles if he wants to gain ground. So he's got a lot to play for in this race as well. And we've got to put Blue XR8 in the mix. He's in P14. He's currently P3 in the championship. He's having a disaster of a race here at Oschersleben. And he's looking like he's starting to hit a bit of trouble as well, Blue XR8. Currently on board with Azza, who's in P4. He's extending that lead between himself and someone awesome who's in P5. So that lead is almost two seconds now between those two guys. Now that's Austral in P6. He's got a 6-second lead over Ty Morgo now. Because Carcado was just relegated back to P8. And Dean's been relegated back to P11 as we see the red marker on screen. So that means Morningstar Mike, he's moved up in the P10 last lap. Carcado, he's lost the position, but he's in pit lane for his mandatory pit stop. So he's looking to get an undercut advantage here. But if last racing strategy was something to go by, the overcut was the way to go. So this might be an optimistic move here from Carcado. So we'll wait and see if he can actually pull it off. Brennicles, he's still trying to chase down Ghost in P1, but Ghost's got a 5-second lead over Brennicles. So this is going to be a domination from Ghost once again at this stage. His last lap around was a 1:26.9. That's awesome pace from Ghost. He started P3 on the grid. He's put himself up into P1. So it doesn't matter where he starts on the grid, he's always going to put himself up into the front few guys. What's his last lap of his? A 1:27.4. So the pace has died off a little bit. Brennicles in pit lane now. He seems to be reacting here. He might be going the optimistic undercut strategy here. And we got Raw. He's moved up in the P2 now as Brennicles goes into the pits. Azza in P3. We've got Rainy Champ, Southern Awesome in P4. Austral has followed Brennicles in. So he comes into the pits in P6. Hammer will be able to get past those two guys. So he'll move up in the P5. And then there's Morningstar Mike in P8 there. Ty Morgo, he's going into the pits now. So pit lane is starting to be very busy at this stage. We've got Dean, he's in P10. He's in the penultimate corner now, going out wide. He's really under pressure by Nachos, the driver behind. In the number 3 Ford Falcon here. So Dean has had to get out of the throttle there because he may have copped the slowdown penalty for going out wide. So Ty Morgo's in the pits, Austral's still in the pits. And he's coming out now. He'll be able to get past Ty Morgo there. So Ty Morgo's relegated back to P11. XO, Blue XR8, he's coming across the control line relatively soon in P13. Carcado's all the way back in P14 now. I've got to remember, he made his mandatory pit stop, and he's got a few guys in the pits there, and Ty Morgo and XO. So he's going to be able to put himself up in the P12 by the looks of it. That's if Ty Morgo doesn't get out of the pits in time. It looks like he will. So Ty Morgo gets ahead of Carcado. You can see him come out of the track there. So Azza's in pit lane now, coming in from P4. So that means Ghost, Raw and Someone Awesome. Top 3 haven't made their mandatory pit stop. So strategic moves happening through the field now. Morningstar Mike also following the train. So he's coming in from P6. So Brennicles, he's looking to make himself up in the P5 now after the two guys ahead of him just pitted in. Azza and Morningstar Mike are going to be relegated now. And then there's Nachos coming in the pit lane by the looks of it. Dean's going to stay out another time around. So very consistent pace here for the championship leader, Brennicles. And obviously that is why he's the championship leader, because he is very consistent. And we've got to remember, consistency is key to winning championship. Obviously your first goal is to win. But if that's out of the equation, your second goal is to just get as much points as possible. If you can finish like in the top 3 every race, you're pretty much setting yourself up with a wicked chance at championship glory, and that's what Brennicles has done this series. So he's been very consistent. So Brennicles is on lap 10. Ghost, Roar, and Someone Awesome all in pit lane. So all these guys have reacted to the train behind them. So there's Roar. He just came into his pit box. Where does Ghost come out? Someone Awesome. He's just entered pit lane. So he's out there into his pit box. That's Ghost exiting pit lane with a lot of wheel spin out the box. So he's going to get past Roar. No, that's Roar. So he's going to get right past Roar. But Roar's right in behind him here. So this lead of Ghost has been diminished to pretty much nothing. And there's Brennicles. Oh, side by side between Brennicles and Ghost. So this was an optimistic, strategic move from Brennicles, and it might pay off. As he tries to send that down the inside. No, he's held up on the outside line here. So Ghost is defending for his life here. Brennicles is right on the rear bumper. You see him in the background. And then there's Roar as well. So it's going to be a three-way battle to the end here. Hammer's got the lead this race by 13.5 seconds. But he's still yet to pit in. So he's going to come out from the lead this race relatively soon. These guys are on lap 11 as well as Hammer. So we're in the mid-stage of this race now. Ghost seems to be gapping Brennicles behind a little bit. I'm not sure if any of these guys actually changed the tyres, because I don't have that data available to me, unfortunately. But as for Ghost, he's gained a little bit that time around on Brennicles. They were side by side on exit of the pit lane. And Ghost has managed to hold off a resurgent Brennicles in P2. And then there's Roar in P. Well, that's provisional P2, provisional P3 for Roar. As Hammer's still yet to pit in P1. So 10.8 second lead over Ghost in P2. So a lap car up ahead in EXO and the number 44 Ford Falcon there. So he's going to be looking to plant his car up on the high line relatively soon. So as for Ghost, he's going to have to negotiate between himself and EXO relatively soon. Brennicles is also onto the picture here. So EXO's just let those guys fight. So good stuff from him, good awareness from EXO. Oh, we got a little bit of contact between EXO and Roar. That was in the background of all this. So I don't think Roar will be too happy, and that's Hammer coming in the pit lane now. So he's going to lose the lead this race now. So coming across the control line now, Ghost is the new race leader on lap 13 of 21. He's got a 1.5 second lead over Brennicles in P2. Oh, he went in way too deep. Ghost went in way too deep and he's off. He's had the rejoin and he's trying to defend for his dear life here. Yeah, that massive lock up heading into turn 1, and now he's under pressure once again to Brennicles. Is he going to hold on? It looks like he is. He might have to get the timings up on screen because he might have a penalty. No, he doesn't. So, Carcado of a 6-second time penalty there. So, unfortunately there, Hammer with a 1 second. So, we've only got 2 drivers with time penalties at this stage. Hammer's still in pit lane. He's relegated back to P8, coming in from the lead of the race. So he's losing positions like there's no tomorrow now. He's exited pit lane in P9. But the battle for P1 is still on between Ghost and Brennicles. Ghost looking really unsettled, heading into the fast chicane in sector 3. Because Brennicles is right on the rear bumper now. Heading into the last corner. He's going to be in the slipstream heading into turn 1, the championship leader. Got half a second gap between himself and Ghost ahead, so he might not be able to get it done heading into turn 1. So Ghost this time around might play it more conservative, and he does, so he doesn't go as deep heading into turn 1. And he got a very good exit out of turn 2. So he's gained 1/10 over Brennicles on one corner alone. But it's sure to diminish in the mid-sector. So as the Ghost is up on his quickest race lap now by 1.3 tenths. Oh, he's went out wide in the mid-sector, and that might invite Brennicles up in the P1. He's going to have to take the wide line, and he gets a slowdown for that Ghost. He has to let Brennicles right by. So Brennicles, new race leader on lap 14. The championship leader looking to extend that gap. So we'll change the car view here. We're on board with Brennicles now. 7 tenths down on his quickest race lap. So what my thoughts are is Ghost is actually fitted into a set of tyres maybe. We'll wait and see. Because it definitely looks like they're on two completely different sets of tyres here. As Ghost is trying to make a move down the inside, heading into turn 1. But he has to hold back. He's going to slot him right in behind. Very good deep braking skills there from Ghost. He's got a little overlap on the inside, but he's going to be on the outside, heading into turn 4. Side-by-side stuff as Brennicles tries to hold on to the lead of this race. And Ghost is forced out wide there, so he's going to have to hold station in behind Brennicles. Brennicles under severe amounts of pressure heading into the mid-sector. He went way off the apex there, Brennicles. And Ghost has sort of followed him there. So heading into the slow chicane now. He's going to get a better exit here. It's going to be pretty even here. Half a second in it between Brennicles and Ghost. The battle for P1. We've got a battle heating up between Austral and So and Awesome in P5. And then it's Ghost and Time Morgo battling it out for P7. But at this stage, we cannot take our eyes off the battle for P1. These guys are going to be on lap 16 of 21 this time around. And Ghost is trying to look to get an overlap. Heading into turn 1. He's in the slipstream. He got a better exit out the last corner. He's right on the rear bumper now, getting an overlap. He's going to do the move. And he's going to pull it off. Can he block his exit though? He does. So Brennicles has lost the lead of this race. Now he's right on the rear bumper of Ghost. So this battle is never going to stop between these two top quality drivers. And as for Ghost, he'll be really happy to get the lead of this race back after he made that mistake in the mid-sector up here. Will he make that mistake again? We'll wait and see. He tries to hold on to the lead from Brennicles. We've got a car off in the background there. I think that's the number 3 car of Nachos in P13. So Ghost is starting to extend this lead now. So it seems as though Brennicles has used up his tyres during that battle. So he's looking to hold on to P2 at this stage. We'll wait and see if he can actually make the ground back. We've got Raw in P3, Azza in P4, then Austral rounding out your top 5 here for race 2 of round 5 of the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. Then we go further down the list. So and Awesome, Blue X8, P6, P7 respectively. 2 championship protagonists, both from the top 4 in the championship. Time Morgo, also in that championship battle in P8. P9 is Hammer, P10 is Carcado. P11 Morningstar Mike, Dean in P12, Nachos in P13. And then EXO rounding out the 14 car grid in P14. a car off in the background there. It's a lap car by the looks of it. The number 5. The number 5 car, I think that's Dean. So he's just getting out of the way there. So good awareness from Dean to let the faster guys through. The Ghost has extended this lead to 1.5 seconds. He might go on board with the battle here between Blue X-Ray, Ty Morgo. They're having to deal with a lap car here, I reckon. No, that's Hammer in amongst it as well. So we got a freeway battle for P7. That's Hammer looking to make a move down the inside. Blue X-Ray locks up. And Hammer's going to make the move down the inside, heading into the mid-sector. They're side by side, heading into turn 5. And Hammer pulls back there, and Ty Morgan on the background. So who'll prevail in this battle here? Once again, side by side stuff between Blue X-Ray and Hammer. He's made the move up in the P7. Awesome stuff by Hammer. And now Blue X-Ray is under pressure from Ty Morgo, his championship competitor. These two are both top 3 of the championship. It's like Ty Morgo, he's trying to make a move, but it's not there. And Blue X-Ray makes a mistake heading into the penultimate corner. And that's gifted Ty Morgo P8 in race 2. Now he looks to be chasing down Hammer and P7. So Blue X-Ray, he looks to be struggling on his set of tyres. So remember, he was in the wall. And that's Ty Morgo off at turn 1. So Ty Morgo has overshot turn 1, turn 2 chicane. And he has to give position to Blue X-Ray. So Blue X-Ray will be quite happy with that mistake from Ty Morgo. And as for Hammer, he's extended that lead. Can't even see the guys behind in sight now. So while Blue X-Ray and Ty Morgo battled it out P8, Hammer's just went out and freaking extended that gap in P7. So he'll be quite happy with that. Someone awesome in P6. As I think he got a little bit of a curve hop there. Wait and see what happens. Austral in P5 once again. Awesome performance so far from him. As is in P4. He's got Raw ahead in P3. So he's trying to chase down a podium spot here. Azza. But Raw's holding on to that spot. Brennicles is in P2. He's 2.7 seconds behind the leader Ghost. So Ghost is starting to really extend that lead on lap 19 to 21. So we got 2.5 laps remaining here for race 2 of round 5 at Oschersleben. And at this stage, it's looking highly likely Ghost is going to once again clean sweep around here for the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. It'll be the second time he's done so. So he might be in with a shot to win the championship next round. We've got to remember, he started 2 rounds later than everyone else. So 1 round will be dropped from him, but he has 2-0. So essentially, no points made in either of those 2 races. So they will count as his drop round. But he's never been off the podium in this series, so he could be an outsider chance heading into the last round. Got to remember, the last round is a 200 kilometer endurance race at Mount Panorama. It's one straight race, so I think it's a 32 lap race around the mountain. These guys have got a lot of work to do if they're to fight for a championship next week. As for Brennicles, he's in the prime seat to win the V8 Supercars Sunday Series. And this is the 3rd instalment of the Sunday Series. Got to keep in mind, Season 1 was the Clio Cup. Pointy came out victorious in that one. Unfortunately, he hasn't raced in the past 2 seasons. Seems as though he's retired from Project Cars 2. He's made the move to iRacing. Season 2, someone awesome in the GTE series, won the championship. But who will it be in Season 3? Brenicles in the prime seat to win Season 3 here. Currently sitting P2 in this race. And we're on the final lap of this race now as Ghost holds a 4.3 second lead over Brenicles, the championship leader. And then Raw, he's 15 seconds behind the lead of this race in P3. Azza not looking likely to make the move onto the podium spots in P4. Austral with another good performance in P5. Someone awesome, the reigning champ, struggling in the mid-pack in P6. And then it's Hammer in P7. Time Morgo in P8. Blue XR8, championship contender in P9. Carcado in P10. Then it's Morningstar Mike in P11. Dean in P12. Nacho's in P13 as he exits the pit set. And then EXO in P14. But this is going to be a wonderful clean sweeping performance from Ghost, who's still in the mid sector, but he's about to exit here on the back straight now. We're only 28 minutes off the meet and greet round for Race on Oz as well. So straight after this, we'll be live streaming the meet and greet round for Race on Oz. And we'll get all the details up as we get that stream up. So Ghost through the last corner now. He's going to have quite a demanding win here at Oschersleben to clean sweep the round. And a well-deserved burnout coming up for him. Brenicles, the championship leader, heading into the final round. Crosses the line in P2 and then Raw out the final corner now. He will finish in P3. That's EXO in P14 there. Azza out the last corner. He'll finish the race in P4. And that's the number 5 car of Dean in P13. Then Austral in P5, wonderful performance from him as he crossed the control line. So a P3 and a P5 this round. A very good point haul for him. Then it's Someone Awesome. Someone Awesome in P6. Hammer in P7 is here, enters the last corner. Ty Morgo, championship hopes are fading away. He's going to finish the race in P8 as well as Blue XR8. His championship aspirations are on the line. And he's really under pressure from Carcado around the last corner. Is he going to get the traction? No, he's not. So stuck in 4th gear is Carcado. And Morningstar Mike around the outside. He made his way up in the P10. He came out of nowhere. So there are your unofficial results for race 2. Goes clean sweeping the round. Brenicles in P2. Raw rounding out the top 3. Azza P5. Austral P5. So no, Azza's P4. Austral P5. Someone Awesome P6. Hammer P7. Ty Morgo P8. Blue XR8 P9. Morningstar Mike rounding out the top 10. And then we got Carcado P11 over the line. And then we got Dean in P12, Nachos in P13, and EXO in P14. So that was a wonderful round in the penultimate round tonight at Oschersleben. It will be Brenicles holding a very healthy championship lead. Heading into the final round, the endurance round at Bathurst Mount Panorama. So he's in the prime seat to win Season 3 of the Sunday Series here. So we'll just get the next thing up on screen now. So at this stage, the next round is to be announced because, as many of you may know, it is Mother's Day next Sunday. So we might have to postpone it until a week later. So we'll get back to you on that by Wednesday. I'll put up a poll in the chats and whatnot to see what everyone's thoughts are on that date change. But then Season 4 will commence on the 24th of May, but it'll start at an earlier time because we're going to have a double header in the Xfinity NASCAR Series and then the main game NASCAR Series. So they're going to follow the same calendar structure. It's just the Xfinity guys will be doing shorter races in comparison to the main game NASCAR guys. So the top 16 in this series will be guaranteed a spot into the main game if they choose to continue. If not, we'll be letting the guys preceding the top 16 positions in the championship into the main game. So I've been Madam on in, and I'll see you in the next 20 minutes for the Race on Oz meet and greet round for the Pagnian GT3 series. They got the inspiration from the Blank Pane GT series in the world, but unfortunately, due to coronavirus, that isn't going on at this stage. So maybe a good motorsport fix there if you're into the Blank Pane series. So don't go anywhere, because we got that action coming right up after this. So I'll end the stream here and we'll start up another stream